You're appearing here as the victim of an alleged crime of mistreatment committed by your husband. Do you want to make a statement against him? Do you want to continue with the case?
This is one of the specialist courts set up in 2004, dedicated to cases of violence against women by their partners.
Can you explain to us what happened yesterday at your home?
Él comenzó a insultarme por la noche. Me recogió de aquí del pelo y del cuello y me tiró hacia adelante.
Are you afraid of your husband? Would you like protective measures to be implemented to prevent him from coming close to you? It's okay. Would you like a break? Do you think you can continue to testify?
In Spain, once a complaint is brought, judges trained in violence against women have a maximum of 72 hours to process the case. They must hear evidence from the alleged victim and the accused.
You didn't touch your wife. Had you been drinking? Do you have an alcohol problem?
It's adjourned to the following morning in order to hear from the couple's daughter. Until then, the husband is remanded in custody. If the judge finds sufficient evidence, a quick trial will be organised within 15 days in these same courts.
You may be seated. You're accused of making threats within the household. You can, if you like, accept the facts of the case. Duly noted. Do you also accept the sentence proposed by the prosecutor for that instance, community service?
When the evidence is overwhelming, often the defendant pleads guilty before the trial even begins and has his sentence reduced. But preventative measures are taken to protect the victim.
The most important thing to keep in mind is that for the next 6 months he cannot get near you nor contact you.
If the man breaches the order, his sentence could be changed to a jail term. The law sets out stiffer sentences for crimes involving this type of abuse.
If these threats had taken place outside a relationship or a household, we'd be dealing with a minor crime. And if the victim hadn't filed a complaint, there would have been no trial. But this case here is different. These threats fall under a special category called violence against a woman in a relationship. And this means the victim doesn't have to file a complaint. The state acts directly on her behalf. If it had been, so to speak, normal threats, the sentence would probably be a fine. But because this is a case of violence against a woman, the minimum sentence is a jail term, or, as you saw today, community service.
But many victims of abuse take years to go to the police. In Seville, one association is committed to helping women out of the cycle of violence. They run social activities for both women and men.
When a man learns to respect you and love you, he doesn't have any reason to want to beat you, rape you, or kill you. He can see your humanity and see you as an equal.
These survivors, as they call themselves, support one another through their court cases and their quest for work. But above all, they learn to get their self-confidence back. Co-founder Antonia was a university lecturer. She never expected to find herself putting up with 15 years of abuse.
I never thought this could happen to somebody who's educated. I thought it was a social class thing, something that only happens to people who are poor or ignorant, but that's just not the case. It can happen to anyone.
Like her, many others lost self-esteem, suffering in silence.
Here is how the circle of violence begins. He hits you, then he says he's sorry. He's down on his knees saying, "Please, I'll never do it again." He's crying. And because he is your husband or your partner, and you do love him, well, you come back.
Now, thanks to this support network, these women of all ages and backgrounds feel free. They have a new family. Spain began a concerted fight to stop what it now terms gender violence after a tragic case, the death of Ana Orante. In 1997, Orante told a TV program her ex-partner had abused her for 40 years. 3 days later, he threw petrol over her, burning her alive. Today, the Spanish media report every case of women killed by their partners.
This Wednesday, Spain wakes up to 4 more lives ended too soon, 2 women and 2 girls. The victims had all reported abuse or sought help. Inequality continues to kill.
The radio programme Hoy por Hoy has the highest number of listeners in Spain. Its star presenter says the media had to improve its reporting.
Before, gender-based violence would end up in the news in brief section. You'd read about accidents, a natural disaster somewhere, and eventually about some woman killed by her husband. That's not right. This is a specific problem that can't be reported like some low-priority news item.
The data suggests Spain doesn't have the worst record on men killing their partners. But so far this year, more than 40 women have died this way.